Greetings, this is Colin here today again with another video game review, and today we're looking at the game Nier. Nier is an action role-playing game created by the team Cavia under Square Enix. Now back in 2003 Cavia released a game called Drakengard, which you may or may not be familiar with, but that game had a number of different endings, and one of those endings actually leads to the precursor of the Nier story. Now Nier is set on Earth in the fairly distant future, over 1300 years into the future, and basically the situation that the world is in, humanity has been wiped out by a disease called the Black Scroll disease, and in order to try and preserve humanity, a project called the Gestalt project was started, which basically replicated people and created copies in order to try and preserve what was left of their humanity. Unfortunately and predictably, something goes wrong with this project, and we end up having a situation in which people's souls end up aimless and lost and violent. They essentially form the enemies in the game. Now, without revealing too much about the story, it's a very complex, very dramatic story featuring some very complex characters, and the characters themselves have some excellent voice acting. The female lead, Kaine, is voiced by Laura Bailey of Japanese anime fame. You may be familiar with her roles in Full Metal Alchemist or Bleach or even Naruto. And another very excellent and rather famous voice actor in the game actually acts as the artifact of power, the Book of Magic, Grimoire Vice, and it's Liam O'Brien that does the voice for Grimoire Vice, and you may be familiar with him from Darkseid, as he was the main protagonist, War. He was the voice of Illidan in World of Warcraft, and he's really been in a lot of different games, and he's an outstanding voice actor. Now the game itself has a very unique presentation, and it's somewhat a mix of many different action RPG genres, if you like. I mean, within RPGs there are a number of different subsets and types of RPGs. There's a section in the game that functions virtually like an isometric RPG, like Diablo. There's a section in the game that functions like a good old text parser RPG, like the classic original Zork. There are sections in the game that function basically like a shooting game. Now the usage of magic is you basically equip different kinds of spells to the book, and the book basically acts like a projectile launcher, and the different spells you can equip are essentially just different projectiles, and you can use this magic very effectively in combination with various melee attacks. And many of the bosses bring back memories of bullet hell type games, where there'll be a whole lot of enemy projectiles coming at you, and you need to avoid that stuff and fire back. In order to beat the bosses effectively, you're going to have to use the right spells, and you're going to have to aim them properly too. There's tons of people to talk to, there are tons of quests to grab, and one of the best things about the game is the replayability. There are 5 different endings you can get, and the choices that you make drastically change the outcome. In closing, Nier is certainly one of the most memorable games of this generation, and will no doubt be spoken about for many years to come. You should grab a copy immediately.